have mobile phones, and we had landline phones. At that time, when I wanted to meet my friends, so I basically called them and said, okay, should we meet at 11, like right now? And we usually used to come like half an hour earlier. And they used to come half an hour earlier as well, so that's how the life worked. And then when I was in 11th grade, that was in year 2000, I've got my first mobile phone. It kind of changed a little bit behavior, how I meet my friends, and then since then and until now, I basically meet them like 15 or half an hour later after the time we agreed, because I can always text them, I'm running 15 minutes late. We also have some other devices or like environment which surrounds us and which we communicate with. And we communicate with them at that time kind of in a dumb way. We park a car and we pay putting the coins into the machine. If we want to meet our friends at the bar, we just call them and hope that they will still be at the same bar when we arrive. And then in the year 2007, the guy you all know, who wears all the time New Balance jeans and a turtleneck, invented a phone which was smarter than all others before. And we all know that this phone, not only iPhone, but any smartphone, kind of became very much intimate device in our lives. We go to bed with them, we wake up with them, and that's how we communicate with them. So it's very intimate and very close to us. It also enables us to communicate with those devices, what we kind of communicated earlier, much smarter. We pay for parking now with an app, hopefully, and we don't call our friends to see which bar they are at. We just basically check the Foursquare. And if looking further, there will be more and more devices which will be connected to our phones. So all of this kind of can actually change our life for the better. They can do us more sports, they can make ourselves healthier, raise our awareness of how much coffee do we consume, and it can just make our life more convenient. And today, it's exactly what I want to share with you. To share my ideas, to share examples from the world, what it is already and what could be possible in the future, changed in our life, and how it could change for the better when we basically have the phone connecting with the environment. And I would like to start with what we already have. You all came here for the login conference. And it's 11 o'clock, but it might be still early for someone. And you hopefully had your coffee already. But is there someone who did not have the coffee? Or at least who would like to have a cup of coffee right now? I need one person to come next to me, please. Yeah. So at Lemon Labs, we like to hack some hardware. And we'll try to do a little demo here. It's, as you know, it's probably most of the time demos do not work. They do not work more than they work, but please come closer. We'll make a coffee for this guy with an app, and he will do it himself. What's your name?
Povilas.
Povilas, yeah, please. So we'll have to do some little preparations here, and I need to exit my monitor and see my phone, hopefully. That's exactly what I told you before. And yep. Should be all fine, yep. So we have this phone. You'll use this phone. We have, just a second, do not press anything, please. What I want to show you, I kind of tried to show you the screen. This is the app we made. We use it in our office. This is, we call it Coffee app. It's pretty dumb and has just one button. Make a coffee, please. So please, you can tap the button now. That's it. And hopefully, this thing should turn on and run. Oh, that means we have too many Bluetooth connections. But
It's working.
It's still working. Yeah, it's still making coffee for you. Probably. probably. Yeah, you see it's heating. This red dot here. Justas Žiliūtė is our designer. Yeah, in the transfer. That's it. You can take your coffee. Sorry, no sugar. So the demo was successful. That's great. And just imagine if you could kind of use this app in any of your office, and you would track how many espressos or lattes you drink. You can also compare this with your colleagues. You would understand how much caffeine you consume per day, and maybe you would have a leaderboard. That's the signal when the coffee is ready. But, and you would know who is the espresso drinker and who is the latte drinker. This might sound like a future which will never happen or something like that. But in practice, we already have such apps. And this is the coffee app, which enables you to track the caffeine you consume during the day. Either it's coffee, tea, or Coke. And it not only this, but it also compares you to the community who is drinking and using the same app as well. And this is my data. So comparing to this community, I'm kind of very low consumer of caffeine, because I consume like 105 milligrams less than all of the rest. And it's not only to track the coffee, but it tells you when you are kind of ready for the sleep and not ready. So it's maybe a little bit hard to see, but it's like sleep ready, the line here, so I'm slightly above now. And but what this app does, actually, if you wear also a wristband, jawbone, then it tracks your sleep and kind of tries to, at least in theory, match your caffeine consumption to your sleeping patterns. And then you can understand how your caffeine consumption affects your sleeping patterns. And by understanding this, it may be not that scientific. It just actually raises awareness of the caffeine consumption for yourself, which results in a better health for you. But to track the sleep, this is not the only way. Of course, you can go to the lab, connect many wires on your head, and do that very precisely, but that's not very convenient. What I do myself, I put the phone on the mattress I sleep, and it tracks the movement on my bed, and it wakes me up in the time when I'm kind of most ready to wake up. And this is the data for 2 years from my own kind of living. Well, the sleep quality maybe is not the best, but at least I'm pretty sure that like 6 hours of sleep is quite ready for me, and I know that this time is okay for me to start the day. So basically, by understanding this, I can kind of sleep 6 hours and have quite good health. So to improve health, we not only sleep or drink caffeine, we do sports. And many of us run. Like, running is now very popular. Everyone runs marathons, half marathons, even the people who do not run start to run. And there are many apps, pieces of software in the phone, which can kind of help you to train. And this is, again, my data from Nike, and it tells me the average pace of my trainings. Also, the fun part is here that if I compare myself with my friends which are connected on the same platform, it kind of encourages me to run. And all the time I see someone who ran more, I want to go out and run. That encourages me to do more sports. And if you don't run, you at least walk. If you walk and you have a band like this, which is Fitbit, you can track your movement and count your steps. This is my data from a week before, and I walked like 12 kilometers. The fun part about it is that my colleague Marius is also on the same system, so to say. And once I see that he is in front of me, I leave my car at home and walk on my foot to the office, that I could beat him. So all these fun elements kind of lets me walk more and stay fitter and get better health. So Fitbit not only tracks your steps, they also have a smart scale where you can track your weight. just automatically. And of course, if you run a lot and if you walk a lot, the weight goes down. So what I wanted kind of to say with these examples is that by letting phones to understand how you move, how you consume coffee, how you live, it basically raises awareness for yourself and makes you do more sports and become healthier. You might think also that these devices kind of are like a game or something, and it's used maybe like a couple of thousands of people who are crazy like me, and no one else uses them. But I have to say you're wrong, as this year, 8 million of these devices will be shipped worldwide. In the year 2017, 45 million. So that kind of shows the value of the market. And in 2018, the value of the market should be $30 billion, which is slightly above the whole music industry today. So not only about the health and the movement, how we connect with the devices, let's see what could be kind of very nice at home. I'm a little bit embarrassed to tell this story, so I have to have some water. And when I was a teenager, my dad used to sit in another room and watch TV. And his remote control, if it was like further away than in a hand reach, he said, "Oh, Thomas, could you please come change the channel?" So I came and changed the channel. So today's teenagers do not have this problem anymore. It is, just imagine that you would have your TV program, and once you select what you want to watch, you just tap and it appears on the screen. And that is not that hard to do. I'm very curious what T or Seagates will do in the near future. If we are at home, we also do some food. I'm not that good of a cook. And if I cook food, I usually follow the recipe very precisely. But I don't have any weights or any like precise measurements. I take a cup, and then I don't know whether I took 200 grams of flour or 250. When I do in that way, I kind of mess the things up, and the recipe, I don't know how to follow it anymore, so the food turns out not to be that good anymore. But it seems that this problem should be solved. There is a smart scale which automatically adjusts your recipe according to what you weigh. So I should definitely buy one. One last thing what we do at home, we use washing machines. And for many, many years we used these crazy big machines with lots of buttons which we never press. So if we would connect this device to the internet, what could change? What could happen? And actually the company in London, it's called Berg, they showed the prototype, how it could work. So here is a small video, just to imagine the future.
Setting the end time means I can be sure that when the wash finishes, I'm there to take the clothes out and ensuring that they're fresh. And this wash has been set to notify me, so that if I'm down at the back of the garden or upstairs, I get an alert just before the machine is finished. Of course, I could be out, my plans may have changed, so the notification gives me the opportunity to delay that final cycle until I'm ready to take the washing out when I get home.
So hopefully in the future we'll use washing machines much easier, and yeah, and that should be really easy and fun actually to do it, just to use the functions you really need. So what's the takeout from all these examples is basically that once you connect your device to the internet, like any old device, it makes your life just easier and more convenient. So what we have here, looking at the picture from the beginning, we have a phone which connects to the environment. It's kind of one-way communication, and basically all the buttons from many devices like TV, remote control, washing machine, they just jump into your phone, and that's how you use it. So, and that's kind of one-way communication. What could happen next? And that was easy. We just took the device, connected it to the internet, and we had some kind of magic, like we had some with the coffee. Once we have this, it's kind of, as I said already, one-way communication. But let's Just try to imagine what could happen if we would suddenly automatically listen to the environment and let the environment talk to us. What could then turn out? So that's the second part, what we are making. And not just we as Lemon Labs, but many people in the world. So like each part maybe start with an experiment. I have one for this one as well. Hopefully by this time you already have the login app. If you don't, you can download it from lemonlabs.co/login. If you have it, please don't be afraid and turn on Bluetooth. It will not drain your battery, don't be afraid. And just for more fun, turn on the sound. After you follow all these steps, you can lock your phone, put it in your pocket, or just hold it in your hand. And then we'll try to do some magic, which will hopefully work. This works for iPhones and newest Androids, just a note. And I'm very actually happy to present this thing as this is the technology which is already used in the world, but it has never have been used in Lithuania before. And I have this technology hidden in this cup. This is covered in the folio, which kind of prevents from radiation. Don't be afraid, no cancer. So once I open it and take out this technology, like within a minute or maybe half a minute, those who have followed these steps should get a notification. Voila. This technology is, you can hear the sounds. So what this is a beacon. A beacon is a small piece of hardware which actually can talk to your phone. And so in your app, you should see just this picture now. This is a beacon, and this is how it looks like. For the ones which are standing in the back and maybe not can reach the signal, I'll just pass it through the hands so you can pass it over through the whole hall, and hopefully it will come back to me. Just you can pass it to others. Before, of course, when we see such technology, like many ideas pop up into the head of what could we do with that. And just before we go to the kind of potential use cases, how it could work, I would like to explain a little how it works actually in practice. A little bit maybe technological thing, but it's worth understanding. So we have a beacon which we can stick to the wall or even put in my pocket and carry it with me. And then we have an app, not the phone, but an app. A small piece of hardware in your phone which listens to these beacons. Once it finds the beacon, then it asks the cloud, what should I do with this beacon? Then cloud returns the answer. Oh, you should do this and that, and then it knows what to show to the user. So that's actually how it works. Pretty simple. The app listens to the beacon and knows what to tell. Ding, ding. So jumping into the use cases, most kind of obvious one is coupons and basically promotion. And that's the first idea what comes to the retailers. If you're a retailer, maybe you have a small shop, you are in the city center and many people pass by your store and you wanted to invite them. So you show a message on the phone without doing for a person anything, showing no action. Once you have a message and you maybe get into the store, don't over spam the people, but show the contextual information. Like if this girl is standing next to the phone, you could show the specifications or price or something. If she would stand in the clothes shop and would looking at the nice dress, you could show what other things goes well with it. The same thing could happen in the museum. Once you stand at the big wall with many paintings, you see the small descriptions, which you never go and read because it's too complicated or it's too small font. So what you could do, you could show in the app all the information about these paintings. And that kind of really neat solution. Again, if you made a shopping list and are walking through the store in the aisles, once you pass the milk, it can remind you to pick up the milk because you have 2 of them in your shopping list. And of course, you can complete payment with that. You could walk out of the store without even taking your phone out of the pocket and pay for the things you grabbed. So the use cases is like advertising or like micro-location promotion, contextual information, what is around, and the payments. And all of this could actually bring very many new opportunities for retailers. This again might sound like something what is purely magical or will happen in the far, far future. So I have to tell you a few examples that are already existing and how it works in practice. So the first one is actually in the United States, the Major League of Baseball. They have in the stadiums many beacons, and once you walk in, if you purchase a cheap ticket and you are approaching your seat, it suggests you to upgrade it and have a better seat. So you can pay right away and go to the better seat. If you are new to the stadium, they can even offer you a $2 discount to your favorite hot dog. So this is kind of promotion area. If we take an event like this, and that's how Fix Southwest this year, that what they had beacons around in the rooms like this, and once you come into the room, you suddenly get connected into a chat room which is physically related to the space, and you can talk about the topic what presenter is talking. So you kind of like physical, real world Twitter. And of course, payments, PayPal. They have the PayPal beacon. If you have it in your store and you have a customer who is a PayPal customer, you can come inside and pay for things without taking your phone out of the bag. Again, promotion, information, and payments. These are all the things that work already now. And it's probably the first time in the world, actually, in general, when retailers can close the loop by showing digital advertising to physically standing person close to the store, inviting them to the store, and then tracking the payment. This kind of never has been done before. And it opens so many opportunities to understand the customer, to show more relevant information, and for the customer, it's much better as I don't get overspammed with irrelevant messages. I get kind of promotions, the ones which are really relevant for me. But we are talking not only about the advertising here, but about the technology. And that technology could do many more things than just like pushing the messages towards you. So some more use cases for you. At home, it's not more use cases yet. When you kind of hear new technology all the time, there are like many against thinkers about it and some disadvantages. So I have to tell you there are some myths about it, and I just want to kind of share them with you. So first myth, that this works only with Apple devices, because you might have heard that in the media this technology is called iBeacon, which and everything what starts with I letter is from company Apple. So this is wrong, because this works with Androids as well. Okay, newest Androids, but still, it's coming. The next myth is that no one actually turns the Bluetooth on. And yeah, that it is true at some point and at some extent. Because in Lithuania probably there's like 15–20% who turns on Bluetooth, but in the United States it's around 50. And I'll tell you a few things which will kind of encourage people to turn on the Bluetooth all the time. So for example, if you remember the slide I showed the market size and the number of wearable devices which are going to be shipped to the market, so 8 million of these kind of wristbands, which all connect to your phone via Bluetooth. That means more wearable devices, more Bluetooth connections on your phone. And again, Apple company, if you restart your phone or upgrade your software, it automatically leaves the Bluetooth on. So all these cases will encourage people to turn on Bluetooth and use and embrace the new technology. Also, marketing effects are not the last ones. Coca-Cola is going to use this technology in football championship this summer, and I believe they will do kind of much promotion to encourage people to turn on Bluetooth. And the last thing, which is, okay, I will turn on my Bluetooth, but I don't want it because it drains my battery. So I have to say this is not true. It used to be true with the old Bluetooth technology, but now we have the new one, which is called low energy. And one company did the research where they tracked every second for 10 hours and searching for the beacons, and the effect on the battery was just 1%. So again, this myth is busted. So now we arrive at the place where I have some more use cases to show you. And imagine again, if you're at home and have your lock, you don't have kind of even to carry your keys anymore, and you can unlock your door just by approaching it. Or I truly believe that many of us sitting here, we at least once lost our baggage at the airport. So there is a solution for the airports how they could solve this very easily. If they stick a beacon to each bag, they instantly would know when it falls out of the belt, and they can run and pick it up. Or if you're at home and you're waiting for your baggage to arrive from the airport, you all the time call them and say, oh, is my bag there yet? Is my bag there yet? And they say, no, no, no. And you are very panicked. So if you have a beacon on the bag, once it arrives into the baggage claim, you instantly get a notification that you can go and pick it up. So with thinking that way, kind of anything can be a beacon. And your car can be a beacon. You would drive through the parking, it would know how long you stand there, how much can you pay, and the gate opens. The same at the car wash, the same at the gas station. You fill up the tank, you pay instantly, and you leave. Even your dog can be a beacon. You don't need to find the dog anymore. You can stick a necklace, and you at least know how far they are away. Just don't put it on the nose. So anything can be a beacon, your bag, your camera, your wallet, your phone, whatever. So what I want to say with this kind of new technology, what is arriving and will arrive in the near future, is that suddenly all the environment can talk to us. We can reach new experiences. It kind of, the phone becomes our sixth sense to the world. And all what we can do, we can just live our lives as we lived, and everything happens automatically. So again, looking at the same picture, now we have the arrows talking to us. We don't tap the buttons on the phone anymore. What we do is that we just get the information instantly. And we get more information as we use more devices. But at some point of time, probably we will have too much information, and we cannot kind of cope with it. So what to do then? What happens then? We kind of get mad. So let's look at the kind of far future and see how actually possibly these small things in our phones could kind of solve this problem for us. This is part 3, but no experiments this time. Yeah, so we already actually have some smart apps which can help you live your life better. And if you go for a meeting, if you use Tempo app, you can see which company you're meeting with, what they are doing, the people you're meeting with, your social graph, you're meeting with them, and kind of it helps you to understand and give some context information in your life. It kind of becomes a small assistant in your life. Google Now also shows that not only when you have to go to the meeting, but when you have to leave in order to make it on time. And then actually when we communicate with these devices, unfortunately they are quite stupid yet. We can talk to them. We can talk to Google Now, we can talk to Siri, and they can remind us, they can post on Facebook for us, they can tell us what weather is, but there is no like social communication or social relation. So what I did, I actually asked my Siri which should be my Valentine. The answer I've got that she doesn't date, and only humans does so. So that kind of shows that we are still in the situation where we communicate with small robots, which can help us at the place when we need, and they just bring a pen when we need. But if looking at the far, far future, I don't know, maybe 20, maybe 50, maybe 100 years from now, what will happen is that all these small, smart pieces of software in our phone will probably merge into one, into her. I mean, into her. This is the picture from the movie Her. And if you haven't seen it yet, I really encourage you to do so. It's about the moment in our lives when the technology becomes smarter than we do. It becomes self-learning, it understands us, it understands itself, it learns from its mistakes, it even has feelings. It might sound spooky, we might even maybe fall in love with them, but that's kind of crazy. But actually the problem it can solve us and filter all this information, which I showed before that is too much for us, and it can pick the ones we want, the one we need to know. So to sum up everything, how I started my presentation is that there were times when we did not have mobile phones. We communicated with everything in kind of dumb ways. Then we had a new phone, which became very intimate to us, and we communicate in a smart ways with those. We tap, we bring the buttons from the devices in our phone, and we communicate with them. What it brings good to us is that we have a better health, we do sports more, and we just live a more convenient life. If we have beacons, we basically embrace new user experiences, new stories, and it becomes like our sixth sense to the nature. All the arrows now pointing to us. Again, we live a more convenient life. And of course, at some point of time, we have too much information, which we cannot cope with it anymore. And all these smart things in the phone should help us to cope with it. And that maybe, as I said, in the far, far future, we will have someone who will help to cope with all this information. And even at some point of time, we will probably not need a phone, and we will just talk to it. And if I have my assistant, it would definitely make me a coffee now. But it doesn't. Maybe in the future. And the future of apps is magic. So embrace the future, technology, and enjoy your day. It's some questions here which I should answer. I have a question from Victoras, which says, what is the price of the beacon? Oh, that's cheap. That's like you could get it like maybe for $5, but now the one you have in the hands, hopefully it will come back. It's $30. Alana asked me, what is the best way for a developer to get started? Oh, that's a tricky one. Probably you should come to Lemon Labs. And yeah, and then there are no more questions. So enjoy your day. Thank you.